Yeah, you can share it. We are live.
All right. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, you can introduce yourself.
Mm.
Um, I'm hiding myself, but I'll be with you guys.
That's okay.
All right. All right. All right. Right. The name. All right.
You are aware that you're live, ne?
All
Yes.
right. All right. All right. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Uh, right now, just check because I just want to verify with my guys here that they are able to share. Okay, they are able to share because it's important before we even say anything. We just want to make sure that people are able to see this. But we are also recording it, so they will be able to go back and check and review whatever that we're gonna be talking about because this is not the actual basically for me, it's for the artist out there. And then
Okay.
my name is Kesha Pungula, but the stage name which I'm known with around here is Prod. They know me with the name Prod. I'm the founder of Kasisesionflowz. Basically, what we do that we take whatever it is related with arts and give it to people who are doing this arts out there. So this interview is part of what we normally do for the artists to bring the information, get the information wherever it is regarding art's work and give to them. So I just want to introduce to you someone from I don't know if is it Department of National Arts Council, Department of National Arts Council, or should I say National Arts Council?
It is the National Arts Council.
The National
It's
Arts
an
Council.
institution, yes. It is a public entity for the arts. It belongs to the Department of Arts and Culture. It is an entity established by the National Department of Sports, Arts and Culture as we know it today. So it is an entity that has been in existence since 1998.
Right.
It was established through an Act of Parliament, Act number 56 of 1997, and it started opening its doors officially in 1998.
Okay.
Essentially what we do, okay, essentially what we do, we are a grant-making institution. We're disbursing funds on behalf of the Department of Arts and Culture in the various art forms that we have. For instance, in drama, in music, dance, creative writing, which is literature, the visual arts, the fine arts, and so forth. So we are legislated to support those kind of art forms. You would know that there's also our sister entities, which are the National Heritage Council, which actually support heritage institutions, heritage projects, as well as the National Film and Video Foundation, which has been established for the film industry. So essentially, we are for the arts as an entity.
Wow. Ma'am, Mrs. Julie, right?
Yes, yes.
Can you please just introduce yourself just briefly because before we were not online, so just for, introduce yourself to the viewers out there who are probably watching.
Okay. Good afternoon, viewers and listeners. My name is Julie Dipufa. I'm from the National Arts Council.
Wow, thank you very much. Yeah. Now, just you have just answered what is NEC. Basically, before I ask you to introduce yourself, so I think they got it right. So now I'm just gonna move quickly to the second question, which I know many people are asking themselves: that how and has NEC helped artists before? Just briefly. So how can we you
Okay.
share with them?
The National Arts Council provides financial support to artists. So we are a grant-making institution. So essentially, to access the funding, people need to make an application to the National Arts Council, which will be reviewed and also assessed by a panel of experts that we call the advisory panel before the recommendations can be given to the council for final approval. So it is essentially to support, promote, and advance the arts.
Okay. If I may ask, ma'am, I just want to find out that do you really have to be registered somewhere in order for you to apply as an artist? You have to be registered with which department, if I may ask? Like
Okay. Let me clarify. We support individual artists as well as organizations. So individuals, artists, they're individuals, they're an entity on their own. They do not need to register. The Act allows an artist to apply directly to the NAC. If, for instance, you are a writer, you're writing a creative piece of work, like a novel or short story book, then you can apply to the National Arts Council directly as an individual. However, if you're an organization, whether you're registered as a PTY Ltd or as an NPO, NGO, or a trust, you can apply to the NAC, but it is important that you are formally registered as an organization or company. So we do not accept ad hoc groups to apply to the NAC. You have to be a registered entity, as well as you can apply as an individual artist.
All right. I guess this is very easy to understand. I don't know from my point, but then I just want to find out there's this COVID-19 now, coronavirus, and lots of artists are very frustrated by it because we know they live from events, they do events, they go to shows, things like that. And at the moment, all those things are put on hold because we were expected to be under the lockdown. And then I just want to find out that as a NEC is willing to help, I just want to find out what is the criteria which is basically the NEC is using for one to get this funding.
Okay. Let me explain that if people can go on our website, there is a document called the NAC Funding Guidelines. It actually assists you on how to understand the funding, the different funding programs that we have, as well as what sort of items to apply for. But we had to revise them actually in line with the COVID-19 protocols. I know it is a challenge now that artists are not able to tour their productions, for instance. They cannot have large audiences as consumers of their work and so forth. But now with the current reality that we're finding ourselves in, it is important that an arts project that you are applying for, it's very important that it is COVID-19 compliant. Let me give an example, for instance. Let's say you're having a workshop. It's a capacity building program. You want to train 80 participants. Now we know that under the current situation, that is not allowed. So you have to pull your numbers down. You cannot put 80 people in a room, for instance, to train them or to carry on with your workshop program. So by complying to the social distancing etiquette, you have to reduce the number. So it's quite important that when you indicate your targeted beneficiaries, the targeted number of people that you're going to use, you consider the current reality of the pandemic. So that's how the application, that's number one. Before we talk about other things that I will talk about in the criteria itself, it is important that you are COVID-19 compliant. Number two, we are going to allow people to be innovative, to use digital platforms. For instance, what we're doing now, you can give a training on this platform, for instance. So it is important that all your work, either if it's on a person-to-person, that it must observe the social protocols, or you can use digital platforms in order to work with people or to present your dance piece or to present your theater piece, for instance. So that's the foremost, that important point that must foreground the kind of concepts that people must think about before they can make an application. So if I can go further with the kind of the criteria that we want to look at, we want to make sure that the project that you're doing has an impact. It's going to bring about change. With the participants that you have, within the groups that you're working with, within the communities that you're working with. So we're going to be looking at new innovative works. Exciting new concepts that must come through, where there's a lot of interaction. Of course, I'm saying interaction, but observing social distance
social
protocols of
distancing.
COVID.
Yes, yes, yes.
And diversity. So it's important that you still target your marginalized groups, working with the youth, women, and so forth. Number two, I did mention, I think I touched on this briefly, to say you have to bring about impact. So there has to be that potential to transform the sector. You need to bring about positive change within the community that you're working with. It can be of economic value, where you're drawing in income. Your project, if it's gonna involve artists, for instance, doing a stage play, it's got economic value because you're gonna take money and pay artists. So they're gaining an income and it's making an economic impact. If your theater play or the book that you're writing has social value, it's informing the society, it's bringing the society together, it's got social values, it's educational and so forth. So that's what we're looking for. We're looking for positive change. We're also looking for projects that are having a lasting impact. We don't want to see touch and go with no sustainability. You do a project and it's up and gone. You know, there's no legacy of the project. So we want to see that sort of lasting effect, a multiplier effect, where the project results in something, ends in something, and so forth and so forth. The second point is that for a project to have an impact, it must be profiled. We need to know about it. That is why marketing and communications is quite important here. So we want to have recognition within your locality, within our national borders. It can even be abroad. So the recognition of the artistic product is very important. Hence, I said at the beginning that you need to bring about innovative work, exciting works. Now, once you do that, then you're bringing in audiences, aren't you? You're bringing in consumers of your artwork. So it is important that you profile your artwork, it grows, but you're also gonna, through your artwork, you're gonna be profiling the NAC as well, because we need to be known out there. And it's through the projects that we are funding that people are able to learn about the National Arts Council, learn about you as an artist, contract you as an artist, you know, hire you in other avenues and so forth. That profiling is quite important. And as an element of profiling, we need an art product not to be produced and then it just sits in your bedroom or on your cupboard, if I can put it that way. If you're a crafter, making craft works, right? You're making your nice beads, your bowls, your necklaces, whatever that you're designing, that is in craft. It needs to go to the market. It needs to be showcased. Now, under these protocols, it means you can use your website to profile your work. People can order your work through the profile. You can write a manuscript and then it sits at home and collect dust because it's not accessing the market. So it needs to be published. It needs to be published so that at the market, that's where people start to consume your artwork. You start to make a difference. People learn about the project. People know about, they read, so it's of value to them. And therefore, it brings money to you as well as an artist. You can't dance inside your house and nobody sees you. So you have to go out on stage, you have to perform and to be seen. That's access to the market. What is also important is that your artwork must advocate for the arts, for instance. It must be of such a good value that it's got entertainment value. It allows people to enjoy the arts. It leads to appreciation of the arts. So it's quite important that your work is showcased. It is published, it is performed, it is distributed, it is broadcast, and so forth. What we're also looking at going forward as the NBC, we realize that our funding is actually very finite, right? It's limited.
Okay.
If I can share with you, we have a budget of 32 million to support all arts organizations and all art groups in the country. It's very little. We have 5 funding programs. We have social cohesion, we have strategic initiatives, we have capacity building, that's where the training projects will go. And I want to come back later to explain these programs quite well. We have innovations and design and art platforms. It is very important that when you are designing your project, that you get other partners to work with you. The point I'm getting at is these 5 programs that I've mentioned, each one has about 5.6 million. Imagine if we need to support all social cohesion projects in South Africa, 5.6 million is not a lot. It's definitely so a lot.
It's not a lot.
So when I say we have a budget of 32 million, you think it's a lot. It's not a lot. So you can, it's in many instances, you may not be able to fulfill your aims or your goals funding your NEC alone. You might need to source other funding, right? You might need to work with local partners. They don't necessarily have to give you money, but they can give you in-kind support for your artworks. You know, you can work with people that are playing it forward, meaning that they are bringing themselves to assist you in your project, contributing their own times as a mentor, as an assistant, without any funding that is going to be being given, just their resources. So it is important that you look for those kind of collaborations when you're trying to implement your projects, because we know that our funding is finite. So it may not always be possible to do that on your own. We're also going to be looking at the track record of people that are applying for funding. So we're looking at the processes. We're looking at organizational management. If it's an organization, do you have the skills and the capacity to implement your project?
Okay.
If you say you're gonna teach creative writing, people to write poetry, are you yourself technically proficient to be running that workshop or for writing poetry? So those are the sort of things we look for. And that is why we say applicants must send us their CVs. So their CVs should speak to the capacity that they already have. Just a general CV which does not give us your management skills, your capacity is not going to help us, because we're trying to look for track record here. Okay, implementing such projects, right? And hence you will see that if you can go through our application, we also want to see who are also working with you on your team, your management, what is their capacity and so forth, because we're trying to look at that, for instance. Also, when you're applying for project, right, there is a section of budget. People thumbsuck their budget and they forget that we have people here who are practitioners in the sector, who know the kind of overall, the benchmark costs of certain things and events. Hence, we're saying, do not thumbsuck your budget. Make sure that your budget is realistic and achievable. Before COVID, when people applied for application, we'll require them to look for quotations. I know some people are and some people are not able to get quotations at this stage, but that helps you to set up your budget. And some of them you can easily get by a call to say, okay, if I'm going to use your hall, your community hall, how much are you going to charge me? You know, it can't be, 50,000 a day, already you're just thumbsucking. So you really have to be realistic. So we're going to be looking at your budget feasibility, as well as the your plan of action, your activities schedule. A lot of people will tell you, no, I'm going to do training. You look at the budget itself talks about performances. Then you wonder, these two items are not really aligned. So it is important that your project description, what you say you're going to do, it's aligned to the list of activities. If you're going to do performances, I would expect to see that there's a rehearsal schedule, there's a performance schedule, and so forth and so forth. Not that you're doing performances and then the budget talks about training. So you really have to be careful about this. So your action plan, your budget, and your project description, they must be aligned. The other important thing is that we're also going to be assessing your feasibility and ability to comply with the NAC. And it starts with the application form itself. Because if you submit an incomplete application, you're already not being able to comply. Once we give you the funding, you have to report back. This is public funds. So you should be able to report to the NAC and account for the monies that are given. We give the money in 3 installments or 3 tranches. After you sign the contract, you send us your activity plan to say, these are my new timelines, this is what I'm going to do, this is what the budget is going to be. We look at that, we issue a contract. Then at a certain period, we expect you to come back to us. Look, these are the samples of work. These are the pictures of my cast-in rehearsals. These are the videos of my cast-in rehearsal. This is a draft of the manuscript that I've already drafted, and so forth and so forth. So you report, we advance to the next month until you finish reporting with the requirements of the NEC. Yes. So that's essentially what we will be looking at when we assess an application. I also wanted to come to the programs that I talked about, but I'll hear your question first.
All right. Okay. I don't know if I should allow you to talk and then, or just, and then I will, because there are just two questions I think I'm left with them, because I'm really loving what you are saying. And lots of artists, particularly the emerging and the developing artists, which are normally I say they are not, people think,
I've lost connection.
Yeah, I think
I can't hear Kessler. Yeah.
Let me try to get him back, and then we will just. But you can continue talking, and then we will.
Okay. Let me talk about the funding programs that we have. When I started, I said that the NAC supports craft, it supports the visual arts, it supports music, it supports dance, drama, creative writing, and multidisciplinary projects, right? Oh, he's back on, right? So what we have done in the past 2 years was to develop 5 programs, irrespective of what art discipline you're involved with. For instance, we have the capacity building program, which is for training. So all training projects will apply in the area of capacity building, in the program of capacity building. Whether it's dance training, whether it's music training, it doesn't matter. Craft training, it really doesn't matter. If they're doing training, capacity building, transfer of skills, then they will fall under capacity building. We also have projects that are involved in performances, right? Showcasing the work, stage work. This will be dance productions that are showcased. This will be music concerts. This would be an exhibition of craft works, can be an exhibition of visual artworks. It can be a book fair because an exhibition of books. Those fall under art platforms. So the platforms where you showcase your work. So that's where those such projects will fall under. We also have another program called Nation Build, Social Cohesion and Nation Building. You know, the Department of Arts and Culture, the arts and culture sector has been tasked with building social cohesion in the nation and nation building. So there are projects of that manner that brings different groups of people together, diverse groups of people together in order to build the nation, different race groups. So such projects will fall under social cohesion and capacity building. We also have another program for new works. We call it innovation, design, and all those new works, new art products that are being developed, those concepts, that's where they can apply under. This can include research, this can include script writing, this can include, you know, writing a manuscript for your novel or for your poetry or short stories. This can include a new fine artwork if you're gonna do new paintings, if I can put it that way. That's the program that you're gonna apply in. New choreography, composition of music. It doesn't matter what discipline is. As long as you're coming up with new works, you will then have to apply under innovation, design, and creation of work, right? Then we have another platform called, program called strategic initiatives. So that's where you're actually gonna be having projects that are of strategic nature to the art sector as a whole. These are really big projects that I really have to impact on a national basis, on a national platform or have national significance, where you're gonna bring in a lot of partners in implementing your work. So those work that are of strategic nature, then you will then apply under strategic initiatives program. Yeah.
Wow, wow, wow. You know, I don't know, Sis Julie, maybe I should say you are a NEC, a National Arts Council yourself, because I hear you just bring them out of yourself. So we're really grateful and we're thankful. Let me just ask those questions. Wow. Yeah, we need people like you. So I just want to find out right now that what is the bracket for the application between how much to how much?
That's a good one. Minimum that we can allocate is 100,000. So you can't get anything less than 100,000. So even when you apply, it has to be 100,000 and above. The maximum is 500,000. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Okay. Wow. That's okay. I don't know. 100,000 to 500. But then they just should remember, let me just repeat, COVID-19 compliance is very important. COVID-19, that's what you just said. And then I just wanted to repeat it over because I know
correct.
everybody is thinking out there. But
yes, you can give us a very fantastic project.
Yes, I just want to find out before I ask this question, which is the last one, that what's your advice for people? Like now we know that lots of departments are closed and there are some of the requirements which we find them, we're going to find them very difficult to get. Like for example, residential proof of address. For you to get it, you should go to municipality, and if they are not open and you want it, and then also what you call a bank statement. Yes, things like that. What can be your advice to people to get those things? Because I know that in the requirement they are needed.
Yeah. Luckily for us, we do not need proof of address, but we do require clearance certificates. So, and those ones require SARS to be open. So that could be a challenge that people will experience. We obviously need bank statements. I'm not aware of banks being closed, but I think they can get a statement on the ATM as well for that also. Yeah.
Yeah. Because I'm thinking at the moment, because we are under lockdown, we don't want lots of moves and encourage people to be doing up and downs.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yes,
and I think
so
the best advice is to start now. Yes. If people can start now, don't wait until the 19th of June closing date. Remember, this call has been open since February. We even extended it to the 19th of June. This is opportunity for people to start collecting compliance documents and not wait until the last minute, because then we're going to have everybody rushing, to the shopping centers to get stuff done, and it's not going to be quite pleasant. Yeah.
Yeah. The last question which I would love to ask you is that how long it takes for funding to be approved, duration in between?
Usually take us about 3 months, to adjudicate the funding. But now Council has asked us to move, at the speed of lightning. And it's a challenge for the whole entire team of the NAC to ensure that we adhere to the new call, including the timelines. This year in particular, Council wants to release the results at the end of June. So it closed on the 19th of June, and got 30th June, the information of whether you're funded or not will be out. So hence I'm saying we're gonna try and move at the speed of lightning to assess these applications and make sure that they are approved and people know on time whether they are funded or not. If you will recall, we are understanding that artists are in dire straits. So we do not have the luxury of making them wait another 3 months before we can release the results. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, the information really, the reason that we came up with this initiative, Kasisesionflowz, was for this reason. That's what I needed to be, because a lot of artists out there, they cry about the information. It's not easy for them to get this type of information. That's why we're going to leave it on our page everywhere, and then so that they can get hold of and and apply and stop saying that they are sidelined due to not even doing anything. At least now you have given them the light. They just have to follow up everything that you've said and apply. So I don't know, do you have words of encouragement to particularly the imaging and developing?
Yes.
I know why I'm saying so. They are the most challenged, but yes, during this COVID is even worse.
Yeah, look, the mandate of the NAC is to support the marginalized communities. We have 6 under-resourced provinces, and we know them. We know Northwest is one of them. So we have Northwest, Eastern Cape, Northern Cape, Limpopo, Mpumalanga, Free State. We usually do not receive a lot of applications from these provinces. My humble appeal is, you are our focus. You are our nation. We want funding to move away from the metropolitan provinces, Gauteng, Western Cape, and KZN. Historically, Kadi statistics, they take the bulk of the funding. So council, it's very resolute on this point to say funding has to go to the marginalized provinces, but it can only go if we receive applications. So we have an online application platform at the moment, and it has a dashboard where artists, as they fill in the form, can ask questions on a daily basis. There's somebody sitting there trying to answer those questions as they fill in the application form online. So the opportunity is the start now. We are looking for underdeveloped areas to support. We're looking to redress and transform the arts sector. And that's where redress has to happen. It can happen if people are responding and are reacting to our call for applications. So let those applications come in. If there's an issue, write there, call, send an email, write your query, people will respond to you to assist you.
Wow. But one loot really. I get to go to Uti, Siswana, Kapoga, Soto Marigine, Fela Gere. Can I hana about really haholo? If the Basa how about happen Munana and let them try to, we'll do everything in our power to make sure that this information is shared to them, because we're supposed to be also live on Mabatu FM. Mabatu FM, due to some technical issues, we will see what we can do. Probably, hopefully, we will request another request just on audio, online, on the radio. And then I'll keep on in touch with you, Julie.
Okay.
Thank you very much. I don't know. I have no.
But how can people contact you? How can people contact
yes, we hope to talk to NEC again soon on the other information service that they offer.
Okay, all right. We have
we will, however, communicate with the office.
The email here, info@nac.org.za.
Okay.
That's probably where you send your request to speak with us, on info@nac.org.za. And then further information can be gotten from our website. It's www.nac.org.za. Unfortunately, we're not at the office at the moment, so you are unable to reach the office line. But I think all our cell numbers are on the website. So they are relevant as development officers who review applications that should be available to assist you in the various programs.
Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. I think that's all. And then, guys, really just apply, man. Under apply. No first wake up. Apply. Too much of complaints without applying, they lead us to nowhere. So please, I would like to thank you very much. And on behalf of the department, did I say department again? National Arts Council.
National Arts Council.
Yes, really, National Arts Council.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure.
Hey, thank you. Yes. Can I get to my brother there? I see that is. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, say. Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
God bless. God bless you.
Awesome.
Bye-bye.